Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something I find absolutely fascinating. We aren't just going to look at a car today. We're actually going to use the MG Marvel R as a real-world case study to understand the modern technological ecosystem. We're going to break down exactly what it means to drive, own, and truly live with the next generation of electric mobility.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start off with the new EV ecosystem, meet the MG Marvel R, look at performance and power specs, dive into battery and charging data, review safety and smart tech, and finally discuss the future of driving.
Section 1. The new EV ecosystem, a fundamental shift. So think about traditional combustion cars for a second. In the past, you could replace a clutch or totally rebuild an engine to keep a car running for decades. But as researchers are pointing out, the modern electric car is a technologically interconnected ecosystem. The battery isn't just a spare part you can easily swap out like a set of old tires. It is literally the absolute highest value, most complex component in the entire vehicle, and it fundamentally changes how we have to view longevity and car ownership altogether. And that brings us to a massive paradigm shift, the 6 to 10-year consideration. Because battery chemistry, specialized thermal management, and platform-specific engineering are just so complex and costly, replacing a battery pack is always going to remain a pretty heavy financial lift. So what does that mean for us? Well, the EV life cycle is shifting. We're rapidly moving away from the idea of buying a forever car and moving toward a model based on leasing, long-term renting, or just scheduled replacement every 6 to 10 years. Honestly, it's looking a lot more like how we treat our personal smartphones and laptops today.
Section 2. Meet the MG Marvel R, the physical hardware.
So what does this brand new ecosystem actually look like out on the road? To answer that, let's introduce our primary subject for today, the MG Marvel R. Designed and manufactured by SAIC Motors, the MG Marvel R is a mid-sized electric SUV coming in at 4.67 meters long. It's got this beautifully sleek aerodynamic coupe body style that really gives it a planted, dynamic stance. It's also one of the very first vehicles out there that is 5G network connectivity ready. And the futuristic design language is everywhere you look, from the hidden door handles that pop out to greet you in welcome mode to the really calming LED light bands stretching across the front and rear. And incredibly, it hits the market with a highly aggressive base price of right around 40,000 euros.
Section 3. Performance and power specs, where power meets the road.
Now, what's really interesting about this setup is the choice you get. The standard rear-wheel drive model uses 2 electric motors right on the rear axle, giving you 180 horsepower, a solid 410 newton-meters of torque, and a maximum tested WLTP range, which, if you know EVs, is the standard metric for range, of 402 kilometers. But if you look at the all-wheel drive performance variant, they actually add a 3rd motor to the front axle. That pushes the power up to a massive 288 horsepower and 665 newton-meters of torque. You do trade off just a tiny bit of range for that extra punch, bringing it to 370 kilometers.
And all that power in the tri-motor AWD translates to exactly 4.9 seconds. That is raw sports car level acceleration for the 0 to 100 kilometers per hour sprint. Is just incredibly fast off the line. And for both versions, top speed is electronically limited to a very capable 200 kilometers per hour.
But look, going fast in a straight line just isn't enough anymore, right? The chassis engineering here is absolutely top tier. It utilizes an iBooster electronic braking system to guarantee an instantaneous response the second you hit the pedal. It also boasts a perfectly balanced 50-50 weight distribution and a lightweight aluminum alloy subframe, which maximizes that sporty handling when you're taking tight curves. Plus, for everyday utility, it still manages a highly practical 750-kilogram towing capacity.
Section 4. Battery and charging data, the heart of the EV.
Across all the trims, the Marvel R packs a 70 kilowatt-hour standard battery built on a 350-volt architecture. For your daily at-home charging routine, it features an 11 kilowatt-hour AC onboard charger that will take you from empty to a full charge in about 7 hours while you sleep. But when you are out on the road utilizing fast chargers, EVKX data shows it hits a peak DC charging speed of 94 kilowatts. Let's look at what actually matters in the real world. Going from 10 to 80% takes exactly 43 minutes and 46 seconds, maintaining a very solid average speed of 67.2 kilowatts through that entire curve. Interestingly, the absolute optimum charging area, meaning where the battery is accepting the most amount of power the fastest, is between 8% and 61%. And hey, if you're ever in a rush, just know that plugging into a DC fast charger adds about 6.4 kilometers of WLTP range for every single minute you're plugged in.
So the absolutely crucial point here
is that 43 minutes figure. According to the manufacturer's specs across the board, pulling into a station with just 5% battery and leaving with a healthy 80% capacity takes a highly manageable 43 minutes. That's just enough time to grab a coffee, stretch your legs, maybe respond to a few emails, and boom, you are back on the highway with massive range restored.
Section 5. Safety and Smart Tech, the brain of the EV.
Inside, it is literally a high-tech command center. Dominating the cabin is this massive 19.4-inch vertical infotainment display protected by Corning Gorilla Glass, which pairs perfectly with the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster right behind the wheel. The car is also fully integrated with the MGI Smart app, allowing you to precondition the AC or plan your routes straight from your phone. You can even upgrade to a 9-speaker Bose audio system. And in terms of space, the rear-wheel drive version offers a 150-liter front trunk, or frunk as we like to call it, which perfectly complements the 1,396-liter rear capacity.
Now, this is genuinely one of my absolute favorite features, V2L, or Vehicle to Load. This technology allows the car's 70 kilowatt-hour battery to literally output up to 2,500 watts of power. You can plug in external devices, run appliances if you're camping, or even charge up an electric scooter right from the car itself. It perfectly frames the Marvel R as a versatile mobile power station operating within your broader personal tech ecosystem.
Of course, all this smart tech needs to keep you safe. The MG Pilot Advanced Driver Assistance System acts as a really robust safety net, featuring 14 active safety devices like adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and automatic emergency braking. But pay special attention to the 360-degree battery protection. In the rare event of a crash, surrounded by a rigid structure, the system cuts off high voltage in literal milliseconds to prevent fires. Combine that with 7 standard airbags, and you have some truly world-class protection.
Section 6. The Future of Driving, the Macro Perspective.
So, ranging from that €40,000 standard model up to roughly $50,000 for the all-wheel drive performance trim, the MG Marvel R is a prime example of this modern, rolling ecosystem. It seamlessly blends sports car acceleration with smart connectivity and serious structural safety. I want to directly and warmly thank all of you for joining this explainer today. I truly hope that this structured, data-driven dive has provided you with clarity on not just this vehicle, but the rapidly changing landscape of car ownership as a whole.
Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Knowing that the battery is the absolute highest value component, and that automotive life cycles are rapidly shifting to look much more like our consumer electronics, are you ready to leash your next rolling tech ecosystem?